All right, we are live. I'm going to play that video. Share.
This is, I think they're actually.
This old shot.
Yeah, this
Hey, look at that guy.
yeah, but
That's not good.
you can barely see us in there. Oh, I have to slide over this way.
I don't know.
Where's my mouse? Hang on. All right. And, all right. You guys can take it away.
Welcome.
Go.
How's it
You
going,
gonna
Greg?
hand John?
What's that?
You want to start with Corey?
Sure.
Talk
Welcome to Fun Brothers. Introduce yourselves, everybody, so they know who you are.
Hi, I'm Corey Funk and Ryan Funk here. We're just trying to get the technology to work out in the shop here. Seems like it's sort of functioning.
It's working good.
Yes. We've all had a little technical difficulties tonight, but welcome and congratulations on your points championship.
Thanks. Yeah, it was a great year all around. I think it was we had good numbers in the class, and it was exciting. I think we had 8 different winners in our class throughout the year, so definitely shows that there's good, solid competition throughout.
Very much so. So you find it more challenging with 2 trucks this year than 1? I mean, you did win the points, but 2 trucks are both probably different, but was it more challenging?
They were, knock on wood, actually pretty good to us this year. That we didn't. The white one was a little bit of a struggle for us to start the year. Had some problems with the hitch and a few chassis things that had to come out of the semi a few times to get straightened out. But other than that, we were actually pretty fortunate that most weeks we didn't take them out of the semi, neither one of them. So
that's always good.
you
don't have to take them out. Other years when you didn't do well, what was the biggest problem on other years? I mean, keeping up or keeping stuff fixed, or what were, you know what I mean? Did you have problems other years? Usually when somebody wins points, they have a good year and everything runs all year and you don't have problems. That's usually how you do it.
Yeah, usually. Last year we didn't have that many problems with the white truck as far as durability issues, but we struggled a lot with getting the chassis to work for us. That's really been our main struggle. That the motors ran well, but getting it to the ground is the name of the game. And it seems like the second truck really helped us kind of sort out some of those problems this year.
Right. Yeah, you usually have to have a test monkey, right?
Yep, exactly. When you got something you can compare to, especially after you have a bad hook, which happens no matter what. It's nice to have your own that you know you didn't change anything on. If that one went okay, it's like, all right, don't change everything on the truck. It's fine. It was just a bad hook today.
Yep. Outsmart yourself, right?
Yep.
Yep. Yeah.
How about Dad?
Go ahead,
How much
John.
does he play with you 2 guys?
Dad?
Yeah, he seems to love to come along and helps a lot with reading the track, and he's always one of the first guys once it's rolled down out there with the poker, kind of feeling it out and reporting back. So
Throughout the year, that's also a big part of it for us. That for a lot of classes, that not every track holds up throughout the whole class, and reading when it's time to move the sled to a new spot, or keep hoping for the best and the tried and true, can be a big part of it.
Yeah.
I watched him in Monroe cone, and he was debating big time. I seen him debating, and then finally he picked the cone, walked over and set it down, and finally that was it. This is where we're going.
It was
Good to see a family like that and enjoy the times with your dad. You can.
It was a close points race right up to the end there, wasn't it? Until the last day.
Yeah, it was right down to the wire. We were 4 points ahead of John Lee going in, and I think even the tiebreakers, first and second, were very close. Coming down to the last event, where we were debating whether we should even make a pass with the gold truck at Monroe because of the chance of it getting in between, and we actually we're starting to question that it was a bad idea when I think Ryan was only 4 feet behind John Lee, so we couldn't afford to be behind the gold truck. So basically, it had to be at minimum in between Ryan and him.
Right. Get it right in there. That's what happened, right?
Yep.
Yeah, ended up with last hook and ended up with the win. So it didn't end up mattering, but
Right.
it made me more nervous than I had been the rest of the year. I know that.
Coming right down to it, yeah, because you can step on it pretty easy. Yep.
That's good pulling though. The fans enjoy that too, and there's always 1 or 2 classes that are that tight when you get to the end of the year. And like you said, is passed around all summer in your class. There's the gold truck lining up. So did you guys make changes in the gold truck? It's very similar to the white truck, so you can compare both trucks.
Yeah, we tried to set up the chassis very similar so we could compare easier. We didn't change a ton on the gold truck, but we changed enough to. I mean, it had a different clutch. We took it to the dyno, made some changes on the engine dyno, and a few chassis changes. But so we didn't change everything underneath the sun, but we changed enough.
It was nice being able to set the two of them up, as much the same as we could without completely cutting them apart. But there'll be a few more things this winter that we'll line up and build some more adjustability into the chassis too, so that it's easy to change something on one and be able to replicate it on the other.
Right. Brad Cotto, wondering if you're coming to Georgia.
We always talk about it. We hear a lot of good things, and it sounds like a lot of fun down there. But right now, I think with the motor being wounded on the gold truck, that we got to get that out and get some things changed on that and fixed up and everything fresh in. That I don't think we're going to get down there this year.
You hurt right there in the last pass.
It had been hurt probably about since Shide, I think, is when we started to notice that we data log crankcase pressure on them, and we started to notice, well, the crankcase pressure about doubled right around Shide time. We had a real good weekend down there, but it was clear that the gold one was wanting a little attention after that.
Down at Shide, you guys were what? One was early hook and one was last hook. And Corey, you ended up winning down at Shide, and you had the late last hook, didn't you, down there?
Yeah, the first night down there, Ryan was first hook with the gold truck, and he ended up sitting in second place for the whole class. Then one guy got ahead of him, and then I was last hook and ended up winning on Friday night, and then Saturday, Ryan actually was first hook both days and stuck it out there that he was winning the entire class up until Josh Stahl was last hook, and he beat Ryan the second day with the last hook.
It was good to see Badger State bring it home both nights, though. It shows the competition that we have. back home every week.
27 trucks.
Was there
Yeah,
other,
Is there 27
there was
trucks
23, I think.
Oh, a lot of iron. Here's the last run. This is the run you guys were looking for all season long, right here.
how many other Badger State trucks were down at Shides and how'd they do?
What do we have? 5 of us? Or?
Yeah, Stranley went, and Jared Rip was down there, and Josh, and
The money shot the new Duramax. He pumped Duramax. He was down there.
Them guys do all right to get in the top half? Or?
yeah, Stranley had a really good run. I think he ended up 6th on Saturday night, ahead of me with the white one. I was 7th on Saturday night. He was right up in there, and
Jared, I think, was the top 10. I think he wasn't far back. But everyone was competitive, I'd say.
Good. Here.
Watch it again with the little sound.
Nice job, Funk Boys, from Addicted Pulling Team. Kyle Robbie.
thanks, Kyle.
So you're going to change a lot on this truck for next year, you were saying, or not?
There's a handful of things that we want to change and test. We got a pretty long list of stuff we want to dyno on it, actually. That things we want to try, but on one hand, I hate to take it apart because all signs are it's running pretty good and everything's healthy. But I think we actually have 42 passes on the motor on that one since it's been apart. So it's time to get checked over and freshened up. So we're hoping to go and beat it up on the dyno a little bit and then do all the freshening.
Oh, yeah. Problem is when you do that, you change your freshen, it changes something all the time, and you just never get it back. It seems like, right?
Yeah, it's at this stage, it's easier to go backwards than forwards when you go to the dyno. That's for sure.
Yeah, we've all been. Yep.
Who helped you with your engine program?
We do all of our engine work ourselves. It's a chaos block that's in the white truck, but we do everything from making drawings of pistons and sending them out to get them made to our spec and sleeves and everything. And it's really all our own program in that truck.
Wow, it's amazing.
That always
You
makes
don't hear that
win.
very often.
That makes
yeah,
it feel better when you win, when you do it all yourself, don't it?
Yeah, it does. It's been a lot of work and a lot of playing with it, but it is for anybody that's seen under the hood, it's an oddball compared to any other Cummins you'll see, starting with the injection pump being belt driven on the wrong side. So
yeah, that's cool.
That's awesome. That's what makes it work, though. A lot more pride to you guys, doing all that on your own, and that's hard. That's a tough thing to do, and get it all put together and get it all in one basket and make it work. So kudos you guys for that. That's a lot of things like you're talking about. The fans don't know that. Hopefully, more down and dirty with Badger State, we get more and more of this out there. Where the people that see the truck every week and know that Funk Brothers are there. Well, who's Corey and who's Ryan and who's who, and this is great for Badger State, and it's great for you guys.
What?
we always like when people stop by the trailer and talk and check things out.
Why don't you tell everybody what you guys do for a living, Corey and Ryan?
We both work at Unisig deep hole drilling machines. It's one of the sponsors of the truck, along with Deer Run Seeds and Golden Harvest. But at Unisig, we're both engineers there. Ryan's
I'm a manufacturing engineer there.
and I'm VP of Manufacturing and Engineering. So we make deep hole drilling machines and automation. So machines for making anything from tiny medical parts like bone drills and stuff for that industry to large machines that make cannon barrels for the arsenals in the U.S. So kind of a full range of industries that we cover there.
That's pretty cool to hear.
That's going to be a fun job.
Yeah, there's always interesting things there, and we're always hiring too. So if anybody's in the Menominee Falls, Wisconsin area, that there's all kinds of openings in all sorts of different avenues. So
I think that's anywhere in Wisconsin right now, right?
yeah, that's for sure.
Yeah.
You guys went from having dual DOT tires to the back, the double cuts, when that come into effect. Did you guys move to the double cuts right away and start figuring them out, or did you hold off a bit? And do you like the double cuts?
Yeah, we bought a set of cut tires before Badger State switched over to them, so we ran them a few times at PPL pulls that summer, and kind of started playing with them. And first thing we found out is they bit a lot harder in the front end, and we think we wrecked this CV axle just about every time we put them on that first year. So it was clear they took more power up front than what the DOTs did, and we put a big front end in the truck after that, and after that I think we like them better than the DOTs. I don't know. What do you think?
I think it makes the class look more like a professional pulling class, I'd say, or a bigger class. Like
one notch further away from street trucks.
Yeah, one notch further away from street trucks. So it's I think a good look for the class and something different.
Yeah.
Who helped with the tires?
K3 Tire, Mark Korth up there. He helps us out a lot and fits us in the middle of the summer when we ask for to be sharpened in a 3-day period or something. He's pretty good to us that way.
He's a busy tire cutter, isn't
he? Yep.
He needs. You guys also.
He's looking for help.
Also, I told Kelly when I was up there announcing, I said, at some point this summer I'm going to slip and not say funkin' grooving or funkin' moving. I'm just going to apologize now. She'll take over after, and she says nobody's probably ever going to notice. But luckily,
no, probably not. We won't hear it.
Now you named the second truck on Facebook, didn't you? Did you take the name off of that someone had thrown out there?
I think it was being tossed around before that, and then I think it came up in the comments too, and we decided we liked it. There was a couple different variations, but it flowed with funkin' grooving, the grooving and moving, so that's why we went that way.
Chassis wise, did you guys build your own chassis then, or was it one that you kind of come across? Start from scratch?
The interesting story about the white truck is it started out in 2013, I think, is when we bought the truck that Ryan and I think Ryan found it on Facebook. It was a cabin chassis Duramax that said it needed injectors, and I think we came up with the right idea to buy it and just part it out and sell it and make a buck on it, and that turned into costing a few dollars. But it's been through a lot of iterations and been cut apart many times since then.
There's Ryan on there. Kenzie, can you pop that back up or no?
Oh, yeah.
Russell Dostal says, saw the Funkers at the Pullers Championship. Love their trucks.
Thanks.
Thanks.
You guys had a V8 turbo at first.
Kyle Robbie wants to know if you're going to get a longer trailer so you don't have to stack them.
Yeah,
We're debating on that if we just lengthen our trailer ourselves this winter or what we really do. I think in the end we just need a toter home to have living quarters up front and then just a regular 53-foot trailer to fit the trucks and side by side. But it's a little bit of a stepping stone to get the toter home that we want.
we don't want to cut the living quarters out of the trailer because he's got a 6-month-old and I've got a 2 and 4-year-old that come to pretty much every pull, and they like to be able to go in there and hang out when it's hot and they're waiting for us and everything. So we can't lose the front 13 feet of the trailer that's currently living quarters. So right now we kind of settled on stacking the trucks in the back 40 feet and we got to take a second trailer for the UTV and whatnot. But it'd be nice to all fit in one rig.
Family's important, that's for sure. You get your dad and your mom there, and like your guys' young families there. I'm sure they all support you, and I'm sure the kids love cheering you guys on.
Yeah, it's nice to have them all come along. We always have a big support group, family and friends that come along pretty much every pull. That makes it fun.
Now the old Dodge truck, was that the chassis that? Whose old chassis was that?
So originally it came from Ohio. It was a 3-inch truck. Well, I think it started as a 2.6 truck, and it was built up, and then went to Doug Mueller out of Richland Center, who put the first gen body on it. So it was a second gen Dodge when he bought it, and he rebodied it as this gold truck, and then Brent Meyer had bought it from him, and we ended up with it from Brent. So the chassis is pretty much the way it was when we got it. We made a few small adjustments, but we wanted to not mess with it too much and see what it had before we started messing with things.
Because Brent had gotten a few, and I didn't know if that was the one that Jamie Lars had or not, but I was curious because Jamie Lars had so much success with that old chassis, and I know it went to Brent Meyer, so I don't know if it ended up back through you guys or which one it was, but
No, that one ended up under the white LDS truck.
oh,
Was
neon in the background was pretty sweet in the shop there.
Thanks. It was actually a Christmas present last year from our wives and dad. So they all went together and got that for us.
Got the neon sign.
So where's the stereo and where's the refrigerator? They're two most important things in the shop.
Well, which area the gold one sits over here, and then the refrigerator's back there behind it.
The Fuller.
We just
Nice.
we need a bigger shop at this point with the 2 trucks. It's okay when they're all in one piece, but once they get torn into a million pieces, there's parts everywhere out here. But we just got a vertical mill in the back and a manual mill and lathe that we do a bunch of the work for make our own parts and stuff on. But we're a tight squeeze. Time for an addition.
Well, Christmas is coming. I guess you can wish for a new shop and a new toter and
Yep. Couple things on the list, that's all.
Well, got anything else?
Kenzie, by 7?
What was that?
8?
8. Oh no, we got time.
Because we got Jason here too, and I know we started late, so.
Yeah, no, I think we're okay.
Okay. Brent Geek is on here, says, if I remember the white truck was very low to the ground when it was a 2.6 or 3.0 class when you started pulling. Assuming you guys
Yeah, we
probably
built
had
it.
a big diff in the front.
Yeah, we built it for the 2.6 class originally. And really planned on running with Badger truck locally, and it was that, I think, the next year that Badger State picked up 2.6 and started with Badger State then, and we won points that very first year in 2014 in the 2.6 class with it. And then that class switched to 3-inch, and we switched there and ran that for a few years. And then, yeah, the truck got higher off the ground every time it got bigger parts in it. So back when it was a 2.6, it had a 1-ton rear end and a factory front diff yet. And then when we went to the 2145 big rear end, the back had to go up higher. And then we put the 106 front end in it, and the front had to go up higher. So that's kind of how it evolved, and then the 3-inch to the 3.6 class.
So not much trouble with that anymore. The drive line, the weakest link is probably drive shafts for you guys now, huh?
Yeah, I mean, knock on wood, the white truck it goes on some rough passes fairly regularly, and we haven't broken anything in the drive line in years.
Yeah.
I think the last time was 3 years ago, when I think we broke the drive shaft in Mackville, when we had a real rough pass, and I think we built that a little heavier after that and haven't broken anything since. So
Awesome. Well, it's a stellar year for you guys, that's for sure. Congratulations to you guys, and it's always been a fun class to watch, and a tough class. I think the fans really enjoy the pro stock diesel trucks of Badger State, that's for sure.
thanks.
Greg,
I think,
another one of the classes who want to be booked all the time?
yeah. They get other places. You know, they aren't short. So, you know, a lot of them.
Your phone,
I think
your phone's breaking up.
it seemed like they had 18 hooks, anyways, right? Last year,
16 hooks.
16. You want more or less?
Well, I think everyone probably figures that's about a good number for us.
That's what most guys think. Yeah, 16 is enough. Yeah.
It's kind of one of the more horsepower you put in them, it seems like you don't want to run it as much.
Yeah, I mean, we were fortunate this year, well, and lately with things holding together. But I know there's a lot of trucks in our class that we would have had a lot more, but there's several of them that hurt motors and couldn't get parts to get them back together this year. So
That's a lot of the classes of tractors are the same way, and you know, 2-wheel drives. Everybody was in that kind of boat. You know, waiting on parts. And then when you got them, they weren't the right ones or weren't the good ones. Yeah. You know, you just settle for getting something.
Yep, hope it'll last, and it doesn't always work that way.
Right. Well,
any other sponsors that you'd like to thank? Anybody else you'd like to thank for helping out this year?
I just Unisig Depot Drilling Service, Golden Harvest Seeds, and Deer Run Seeds. Those are our sponsors for the 2 trucks, and then just like to thank our friends and they come along and help us. It can be quite kind of a rat race to stage and scale 2 trucks kind of throughout the summer, especially if they're back to back and short time. That we're fortunate to have a good crew along with us almost every hook. And then I'd like to thank our wives for supporting us and watching the kids and managing them run around while we're at the pole doing what we like to do. So
yeah.
So my question is, are you ever gonna get Dad behind the wheel?
Yeah, he usually drives it a couple times each summer. He actually drove it at Monroe last year, and it bounced so bad he backed out of it half track. So being in the points race, so we weren't going to let him do it again this year. But but we usually try to find some place that isn't going to affect points and get him in the seat at least once a year.
Right.
We tried to get him in there at Sandwich, Illinois, the NTPA hook this summer, and he wasn't feeling the greatest that day, and he actually didn't want to. So,
I probably want to Dodge, bring that little smoother ride, which is normally that way on a Chevys usually ride a little smoother than the Dodges,
Yeah, the Dodge does have a smooth ride to it. It seems like no matter what, you can't make that one bounce. So.
Yeah.
not often you can see Dodge run smoother than Chevy.
Nope. Nope.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Well, we probably only got just a little bit left, so we're probably going to move along a little bit with Jason here. Jason, the 9,300-pound super farm champ, he lives in the neighborhood in our subdivision, which is about 2.5 miles away from my house. He said, I don't think I could figure out the link, so I'm glad you're having trouble, not me.
Right.
I'm not good at technology, so better you than me.
Right.
So Jason had an exceptional year, went from running the Lucas Oil Series to the Badger State Series full-time this summer, and winning a points championship. It had to be a fun summer.
It was a great summer. It was one of those years where everything just seemed to click, and I got lucky. And I will take all the luck that I can get when it comes to pulling, because it doesn't come around too often. And it's a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun being around all the guys that we pull with. And this year was just, I've been on the tour I think I ran it for 6 or 7 years. And coming home, and everybody in the class was just, they're happy to see me. And it was a great homecoming, and it was fun this year. It really was.
Long ride home too, within a couple hours home. Every time, rather than traveling. But would you have 7, 8 wins?
I think 7 or 8 wins. I can't even remember what it was now. And I went this year. I went to every pull, thinking that I just wanted to do good at that one pull, and I didn't even think about points this year. I honestly didn't look at points until I think it was. I don't even remember what it was. I think it was after Plymouth, and I took every pull one at a time, and it made it for a lot more fun. You weren't chasing much because you weren't thinking about it. You didn't think how you'd screw up if you did it that way, and it's made it a lot easier. But
So not traveling on the tour, you weren't running with your brother and Chuck, so you're kind of on your own as far as gearing and at different places. Where a lot of times I'm sure with running with team guys, what gear do you run? Oh, I run this one, and you kind of adjust a little bit. You find that more challenging?
it is, because when you ain't got that guy to lean back on, it's all or nothing type of thing. And like the Funk brothers, they got their 2 trucks here at home, and when you got 2 trucks, you usually can guarantee the other one should at least do better. You don't always do better, but you should do better. And when you ain't got that crutch to lean on and you're doing it all yourself, it's different. We've been a team, group for, I got my pro farm in 2008, and ever since then we've had 2 tractors, and then when we went on the tour, and then we started taking Chuck along with us a year after, then there was 3 of us. And when you got 3 tractors, you usually do better when you got all that, input coming back.
Yep.
But this year it was a little different. It was something to grasp, but when I got to the track, it was full time.
I think Mom and Dad came with you most of summer, didn't they?
Yep, Mom and Dad, and my father-in-law, he came to the majority of them when I didn't make him go and run the tour with them boys and help them out. And it was fun this summer. I had a lot of fun this year, and it wasn't because I was doing winning either. It was because I was enjoying the year.
Yep.
Kicking back, got to the pole, and your focus time was at the tractor pull, and it makes for a lot fun year.
Being able to spend more time with the kids.
Yes, and that's when you're on the tour. You're gone you leave on a Thursday morning and you're not home till Sunday night or Sunday afternoon or Sunday morning or whatever. And you get home and then you're lazy, don't want to do nothing because you've been gone for 4 or 5 days. And, it's just being home where you're max of 3 hours away. It makes for a lot better ride home when it's only 2 hours.
So tell the fans how many kids you got and their ages.
I got 3 kids. I got a 7-year-old, Leah, and then I got a 5-year-old, Harvey, and then I got gonna be 3 years old at October 19th, and that's Hadley.
Funny to do.
They make me chase, that's for sure.
Look at that. There's a good video right there too. Dad backing you in there, and he's been pulling a long time, and I think he enjoys watching you boys as much as he used to drive once in a while too. I think, and he's always got a smile on his face.
Oh yeah, Dad, he don't drive much anymore. He likes just going to the pole and just to help him out. He does a lot of work at home, and all 3 of us do. All 3 of us dig in, and we all work together, and it just makes it easier when you got 3 guys know what's going on.
Yeah.
It's just, 4 with Chuck. Chuck, there's nothing that my brother or Chuck, I wouldn't trust in them to if I'd miss a pole, if whatever, that I'd entrust in them to drive and come to working on it. Dad pretty much is the one that helps me on my tractor, and he also helps Dan on his. But I have no problem with having other people working on my stuff or drive it or whatever, as long as I trust you.
Yeah. Any big news for 2023 upcoming season?
Not so much for me. Just rip her all down like usual and
go through it.
Yeah. I guess I'll need a new block next year because it's pretty spider webbed. And at the start of this year, took the sleeves and pistons out and just had them checked over and stuff like that. And Robbie Lemke's the one that does all our motor stuff, and we took sleeves down there and we thought they looked good. We just wanted to check them over, and he goes, you need 6 new sleeves. And I said, well, why? And he says, well, they're all egg-shaped because your block is junk. So I started out the year with a junk block, and every pull I got to, I knocked on wood real hard that I didn't puke it on the track. And I guess, I got lucky in that sense. So there'll definitely have to be a new block for next year. So
how long have you guys had the air ride front end on yours?
I put that on. I was actually just talking about that the other day. I don't remember with who, and I think it was 18 or 19 season we put it on, and I got that from Josh Miley, and I stuck it on, and I think I went to where was it? Ettrick. Just made a test pass on it, and it was kind of different. Just something else to think about again now. We need to add another thing to think about when you're going down the track is that air ride and where to set stuff and how to weight it and where you go with the weights, and it's different with the air ride front end. It's when you screw up, it makes you look less dumb because you hit the wheelie bars and you come down and it doesn't slam you back up again, and it makes you look less dumb when you screw up. So,
you think the air ride front end helps out with the whole shot as well?
I set mine up a little bit different. There's a couple guys that they'll let them kick and let it bring set you in. But the way I looked at that is you're losing drawback. So I just figured when the front end kicks up, it's going to pick up anyhow if it wants to. So I kind of tied mine down, and I don't know if it's right or wrong, but it might help a little bit.
It's working.
This year it worked, that's for sure.
You didn't seem like you had much breakage this summer. Did you have anything go wrong?
Oh man, now you're making me think. I did. There was a couple passes. We changed some fuel line stuff around, and I got my new injection pump. That's what it was. I got a new pump, put that on the tractor, and the return line kept loosening up on me. And then we went to some steel fittings, and I had some aluminum fittings in there, and then I broke the aluminum fittings, so then I had to change more stuff around. But other than that, I didn't have any problems, and that was something that really ain't gonna hurt you much, but maybe put a little bit of diesel fuel in through the air, the turbo sucking it in. But other than that, no, I was pretty lucky this year.
Good summer.
Yep.
Yeah.
Tires and stuff is.
Yep.
Tires kind of been a rough gig, it seems like this year, and you talking tires and stuff. This set here, is this one of the newer sets you guys got?
Yeah, I put a pair of hole shots on it, and I had been running the Firestones for years, and all these other guys the last few years have switched to hole shots and stuff like that, and the full poles, and it just seemed like I was still doing good with the Firestones on, and I had a really hard time taking them off because like last year on the PPL tour, I ended up second place in points, and there was one of 3 tractors that had the Firestone tires on, and I can't say they didn't work because I ended up second place. So this year I ended up. My dad wanted me to put a new set of the hole shots on, so we tried them, and I'm not gonna say they hurt me, but I mean they do work. They're a little different. They're harder to figure out at first, but I kind of settled in, got them figured out, and then I won on a couple different runs this year of first place finishes. So like I say, I can't say they didn't work. So
Your brother's tractor, that didn't seem like I heard much issues with that one this summer either. You guys had a pretty good year in the whole shop, basically.
yeah, my brother and Chuck, they did the tour this year, and they had the old full pole tires on, the original Pro Polar tires, and they didn't seem to work as well down south. It must be a soft track type of thing where the hole shots are a wider tire. So on the southern tracks, they really seem to help because you float more. And they didn't have much luck this summer on the tour. I mean, it wasn't their year on the tour. But I mean, Chuck came back and my brother came back, and they pull out the battery state stuff and they'd be just fine.
Yep.
I think Chuck had 2 wins on there, I think it was. And my brother, he only came to a couple because the family stuff. And he's a little guy plays football, so he kind of keys on that, which good for him.
Yep.
And he didn't run much, but he had a couple good finishes at home. But the other tires don't work on a tour, I guess. So. But
Who helps you guys out with your fuel system and turbos and stuff?
well, we get our fuel system. That all comes from Hart. We actually had Dennis Fry's on there from I think about 2012. We had our pumps on there from him, and we ran them for years and years and years. And every time we go to the dyno, nothing could ever beat it. And they were starting to get old. I mean, they'd been on there for almost 10 years, and I said to Dad that, we got a new pump from Hart's, and he goes, well, they don't really make that much more power. I said, Dad, it's not so much that we're, up. It's more just upgrading, and, they were starting to get worn out, and it was time to change something and do something different. And, I mean, we put the Hart's on, and we gained some power with them, so it's like, well, we didn't lose with them this time like we had been every other time, so we stuck with them. And then we get, pretty much our whole fuel system is from there. And it works. They do a good job down there. I mean, I can't complain about every time we've ever had a problem, they've been right there. Send her down, we'll get her done. And they do. Brandon and Dustin are really good. But
Chargers seem like they live more in the super farms nowadays too. Technology's come so far, even in the super farm class, and 3-inch charger in and out. But over the last 6-7 years, super farmers went from 1,300 horse to 1,700 horse range, and you're still running the same cubic inch and a lot of other combinations, but the fuel and air really moved up.
Yep, the air in the last, even in the last 4 or 5 years, it's been 200-300 horse just for the air. And that's why like that pump worked so much better. Not so much, but it helped. It wasn't great, but it was better than what we had. And when you're putting more air to it, you got to put more fuel to it, and it worked this year. It finally something clicked, and I went to the dyno finally. I think it was July 2nd. I think it's the latest I've ever been to the dyno, and finally got my parts and went down there and made it work. I came off the dyno, and I think I was about 75 horse short from my brother and Chuck. And I'm like, well, this year might suck since I know I'm going to be way off, but turned out okay.
Turned out good. Combination worked well.
Yep. But they also went back when it was cold too, and cold air makes power.
So who's some of the guys you'd like to thank sponsorship wise and stuff? I don't know if you have much or what, but people that either help out or sponsor or work with you?
Yeah, Robbie Lemke and Troy Schradel, they have been helping us for years. Robbie, one of the first motors that Robbie ever built came out of his dad's garage that they built in their garage, and we've been running that for years. Well, not that one anymore, but we ran that one for years. And Robbie's been great to us, and Brandon and Dustin Hart down there, they do great work down there. And every time you ever need something, you say, well, we need something. Somebody else is coming with something, so you better get us something to make us power, and they do. I mean, they do good work down there. And Kevin Engelking, I mean, there's not a better guy in the world when it comes to dyno stuff. And usually when he smiles and says, you're good, it means you're good. You might as well just unhook her right there and go home, because Kevin has been around the dyno world for a long, long time, and all the little things that he knows, and he's just great at what he does.
Yep. But Engelking Dyno Service.
Yep.
So, well, we better wrap things up. We got 2 minutes left, and we'll be rolling into the other show. So let's throw pulling will be coming up. A few last words from the Funk Boys.
Thanks for having us on. It was fun. Neat talking to you guys.
Thanks for coming up.
Appreciate the invite. Looking forward to another good season. Some fun at the banquet.
Yeah.
Yep. All right. It looks like our time is up here, huh?
We got 1 minute
Thanks
yet.
for coming on, guys. Hope you watch you next week. Who we have on then?
Anything else?
John?
Next week? I don't know. We're going to have to talk about that after and see who we're going to wrangle in.
Right? We'll find somebody. I'm sure of that.
We're going to try and get all the points champions on and the next few shows, and then go on from there when we get close to the banquet.
Yep. I think once we get into harvest, we're going to be visiting people's shops on Monday nights too. So keep an eye out for that. That'll be neat.
Yep.
So.
Yeah, we're going to try and, I think the biggest part of this is helping get people noticed, that behind the scenes, like you guys here and Jason, you see the tractor, you see the helmet, but you don't see who's driving it or who's Ryan and who's Corey, which one's who's who, So it's great. It's going to be a lot of fun.
All right.
All right, guys.
You'll have to tell the Positive Ground team we're sorry for running over their steps at Monroe. We didn't end up catching up to them yet, but just tell them we apologize. That's what happens when we let Dad drive the semi.
I know, man. I know it.
Well, thanks, guys, the Funk Boys, for helping us out. Corey and Ryan, thanks, Jason, for visiting with us, and congratulations on all your guys' points championships this year.
Thanks. Thank you.
Thanks for watching, guys.
Thank you.